Hello, it's the Toaster Party, bringing you another episode of Budget Builder. Today I'm going to be doing a budget deck tech for Dragon Link. This list doesn't run either Halq-Cross or Halq-Cross, and will run you under $85, if gotten for the cheapest price available. But it should probably run you around 85, at worst 90. But this list is able to put up a Buster Lock with multiple negations through disruption. Well, unless they disrupt your equipping of the Buster Lock. But without further ado, here's my list. We're starting off with one copy of Psyframe Driver, because one of the hand traps of choice in this deck is Gamma. Because if you're going to be running a hand trap, you might as well run the most impactful one you can. And on a budget, that's Gamma, because you can't really run Nibiru. We have one Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, just a really good extender that you can potentially search off Guard Dragon LP or just have in your hand, or get off of the search of Black Metal Dragon, which is a one of in this deck. We have one copy of Chaos Dragon and Levianeer. Not a card you really want to be seeing multiple of, but it's one that you can easily search. Well, most of this deck is easily searchable. We have one copy of Tempest Dragon Ruler of Storms. Just a very nice budget extender. It allows you to special summon itself from the graveyard by banishing 2 dragons in your graveyard. And by the end of your combos, you will have a lot of dragons in your graveyard. We have 2 copy of Absoluter Dragon, a good foolish burial target to send off to be able to search any of the rockets, usually Rocket Tracer, to your hand. Plus it's also an extender if you have a rocket on field, which we're also running quite a few more rockets than normal because this is a budget list. We have 2 copies of Silver Rocket Dragon, just one of the better rockets to have. And when it's popped, you can then remove a card from your opponent's extra deck and remove it from play. We got 1 copy of the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, just one of the best extenders in this deck. Also a very good play starter if you have a light in graveyard, because once you end up linking off the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, you get to search up the copy of White Dragon Wyverburster. 2 copies of Magna Rocket Dragon. You need multiple different names of rockets if you're going to trigger the effect of the Boot Sector launch on your first turn. We have 3 copies of the single best starter in the deck, that being the Starliege Seifert, which gets to search up the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, and also becomes the material for it. Just a really amazing card, and has so much flexibility because it also floats. We also have the one of Wyverburster, because it's just an amazing piece of extension. 3 copies of the best rocket, because you need to make Boral load Savage Dragon some way. We have 1 copy of Rocket Recharger, just another name. Doesn't really come up that often with its actual other effects. We have the 3 of Gamma, 1 copy of Dragoonity Phalanx to search off of the Divine Lance, which we tend to search off of our Dragoonity Knight Romulus. 1 copy of Black Metal Dragon. It's a good card to link off with into Striker Dragon. Some lists run 3. I'm not sure how I really feel about that. But it's a good card, and I can completely understand why someone would run 3. But there was a lot of cards in this deck already, and I'd honestly prefer more Seifert than the Black Metal Dragon. But I might be wrong. We also have the 1 copy of Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, good for the lock. 1 copy of the Omni Dragon Brotar, another good piece of extension. 3 copies of Effect Veiler, the other hand trap of choice, because as the budget's already being pushed enough as it is, we could not put in Ghost Ogre. We have 1 1-for-1 to be able to search up a copy of the Black Metal Dragon, or worst comes to worst, Effect Veiler or the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. We have one copy of Dragon Shrine to pitch any of the floating dragons, which there are plenty of. One copy of Foolish Burial, same reason. One copy of Monster Reborn, just another generically good extender. 3 copies of Chaos Space, because we really want to get the white and black dragons into rotation, and even if they already are in rotation, then it searches up Levianeer, which can hand loop our opponent for 1. We have 3 copies of Quick Launch, a card that, if you've seen the Budget Onomot video, you're very familiar with. It has no restrictions, really, or once per turn clauses, so open multiple of these and you can search up as many nice rockets as you want. And 3 copy of Guard, or the World Legacy Guard Dragon, which is basically Monster Reborn for just dragons. It also has the zone moving effect, which sometimes can come up with the extra deck Guard Dragons. The 1 copy of the Dragoonity Divine Lance used for the special summon of Phalanx off of Romulus for additional extension. The Boot Sector launch you search off of Striker Dragon, and the Dragon Ravine you search up if your Phalanx or Divine Lance are already in your hand when you activate Romulus's effect. Next up we have the extra deck. We have Borreload Savage Dragon, the single best level 8 synchro in the game. Can make multiple negates and just one giant monster. Then we have Draco Berserker of the Tenyi, just in case you need to go into a second level 8 synchro or can possibly extend into one. In testing, this actually has happened, that I've made both the Borreload Savage and the Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. Probably one of the top 5 best generic level 8 synchros you can go into. It's just particularly good because it fits in with the attribute that you might get yourself locked into if you're using Rocket Tracer's effect. 1 copy of Unchained Abomination. It's a good, cheap Link 4 that you can put into the deck that you can summon post Dark Lock if you use Tracer's effect. And used to be ran in older builds, which this is playing a little bit more like, as opposed to the newer builds, which are more focused on Martial Metal Marcher and Halq-Cross and Halq. We have 1 copy of Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, a card that you can actually afford now, which you can buy for $4 to $5. A card that you'll probably end up making pretty often with the boards that you'll be able to make with this deck. Sometimes with anywhere between 2 and 4 monster negates, and the way that the format seems to be shaping, this is going to be really useful. 1 copy of Triple Burst Dragon, mostly just used to help clear zones of your Guard Dragons. Delindrous Dragons, it's a pretty good extender. Dragoonity Romulus, the linchpin of most of the combos in this deck, because getting to pump through your deck with extensions like Divine Lance into the different Guard Dragons is very nice. We have Quad Boral Dragon. This one hasn't come up yet, but that's because I'm mostly playing the test hands and haven't played a ton of matches with it yet, and even then most of those matches I was going first because my opponents were all opting to go second. This card is for going second. Union Carrier. Buster Lock. Protect your Whelp with the Destruction Swordsman, just another card to help clear your zones of the Guard Dragon monsters. Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, another form of disruption and another way to clear your zones of the Guard Dragon Pisty and Guard Dragon LP. Pisty and LP are 2 of the other main combo enablers that this deck has. They basically LP allows you to search any dragon from your deck to the field, and Pisty just lets you reborn 1. Allows for some insane extension, and they're kind of the reason why this deck can be so insane on a budget. 2 copies of Striker Dragon. That goes without saying, we're playing rockets in here. And we also have, in the side deck, not like the most well put together side deck I've ever done, but a lot of the budget was taken up by the extra deck in some of the nicer cards in the main deck, but the side deck still will probably serve its purpose. 3 copies of Twin Twisters to be able to destroy back row, 3 copies of a Kaiju to deal with Dragoons if people are still playing that, or stuff like the True King of All Calamities. We also have 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, also for back row. And then 3 copies of UDD Crow, because we need another hand trap that's cheap. And then we have 1-ofs of Red Reboot, Pankratops, and Imperial Order. Well, that was a very long deck tech, but I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have an excellent day.